All right. So I think it's time, now that I've done a little work, to give an update on Horde Game. So, excuse me. I have done a little bit of work. This being mostly in fine tuning the movement controls, as well as creating. I created a standing test dummy. I created a test gun on a wall, and then I did a couple other things. So let me bring the game up and we'll show it off. All right. So here we go. A couple things. Let me bring the game cam over here so you can see that. First things first, you'll notice that the lighting looks a little weird. In order to get a mechanic to work, I had to upgrade to HDRP, high definition render pipeline. I'm not entirely sure what that means yet. I have to look it up. But I was playing with decals because I believe, not entirely sure, that decals take less computing power than a texture. So the idea was that you would fire and then it would create a decal of a gunshot on the structure. So let me play. Give it a second. So you can see we have a crosshair. I don't know what that dot is. That was a weird little dot. That everything's kind of broken because the HDRP upgrade, so it is what it is. We can fire at the wall here. Oh, that's the particles. No, that's the decal. Why is the decal firing? See, everything's just kind of broken now. I don't understand why. But we can shoot the dummy and the dummy disappears. There's supposed to be decals that appear, but the whole thing is just broken, I guess. Why it's broken? I don't know. I'll look into that. But basically, we have the gist of the gameplay. I've got to clean up, make it look pretty. But we have the character-ish, a gun, an enemy, and what I need to do is make the enemy move. But we have scripts in here that allow me and the gun to deal damage to the enemy, to the target. So let me bring up the code. This is the shoot script. All these scripts are going to be very familiar to a lot of people who already do indie dev work, because a lot of them are based on or directly from tutorials you can find online, mostly Brackeys and other little ones like CodeMonkey. I love Brackeys. Brackeys is still the best source of indie game dev information for beginners. Like, if you want to learn how to make games, starting with Brackeys is probably the best thing you could do. Let's switch over to this one. So this is what the script looks like for the shooting. So, we have the damage it can do, we have the range it has, the camera it's shooting from, which is us, the particle effect for the muzzle flash, and then the impact effect. Now, I'm still playing around with the effects themselves. As you can see, they weren't really happening. So all this is kind of broken. It works to the point where it's like you fire, it shoots. The shoot button has the muzzle effect play. It doesn't fires a ray. If the ray cast hits, the ray cast will shoot rather from the position of the FPS camera forward from the FPS camera, out, hit, and then to the range that we've set up here. It'll then set the debug log to show you the name of the thing it hit, and then it will also, if it hits a target, so it'll say, hey, target is a target equals hit.transform get component target. So basically, whatever it hits, it'll see the transform, go to the component, and see if it has the target component on it. If it does, it then does the damage, and it takes 25 damage. Sorry. It'll then instantiates the impact effect at the point of the hit, with the specific rotation of where you hit it, and then it will destroy the impact effect after 5.5 frames. That's the shooting. I don't know how to describe that in a way that's clear to people, because I still don't entirely understand what I did myself. I'm getting there. As for movement, the movement scripts are very, very simple. I'll pull those up as well. So here is WASD 1, which is basically controlling your forward motion. Sorry, this is camera rotation. WASD 2 is mouse. So it has your mouse sensitivity. You can adjust that if you want. It has the transform for the player, so specifically to whatever object you're using as a player, you put it in this spot. And then it's got the float for the X rotation, which is always set to 0. So I lock the state of the cursor, so it's always in the middle of the screen. That kind of allows you to control everything. You access the rotations, the axis of the X and the Y, and then you times that by the mouse sensitivity and then the time, delta time. That basically gives you real time, is what time.delta time does. Instead of having every single frame, it'll like do the calculations to be like, oh, this is happening in technically real time. So these two get the rotations for X and Y. And then the X rotation is negative the Y, because that allows it to move around the object. And then it clamps it at negative 90. So if you go up or down, it won't go past 90. I can show you that actually. Let me go to Unity again. And we will play the game. So if I go up, I can't go beyond 90. If I go down, I can't go beyond 90. That's basically that. I still don't understand how this broke like this. It's so weird. It was working fine the other day. But anyways, let's go to WASD1. Clicky, clicky. So in here has a bunch of the actual movement screen. It's all done on if statements of pushing, you know, W, S, A, D. And then for the jumping, basically it's like, hey, is this object grounded? If it is, if you push spacebar, you can add a force to the rigid body, which will do the transformation of the up movement times jump, which is up here as 50. And then it automatically sets grounded to false again. So you can't just jump. It's basically you jump and then you land. I believe that's how that works. I think, yeah, here it is. So when you land, it basically checks it. If you collide, if the collider of the game of the player hits another collider called ground, which I can set a bunch of other if statements on other additions to the tag here. It sets the grounded to true, so it means you can jump, and then if you won't be able to jump again until you hit the ground. So if I actually grab the canvas, not the canvas, the capsule here, you can see down here in the corner. Oops. You can see down here in the corner, there's the jump. I've set the jump to 250 in the actual script, or in the actual editor here, not in the script, as well as grounded enable here. So if I hit play, I won't be grounded initially, and I hit the ground, grounded. I jump. So I can't just spam jump. Basically, it's like, hey, are you grounded? Yes or no? Which is great. It gives, and the hop, like, it's nice that I can adjust the hop as I want to later on. This thing's got just the square hitbox on it, I think. But yeah, that's effectively it. I really messed up by doing the HDRP, so I'm debating if I'm going to... Actually, I wonder what happens if I do it right now. Let's see what happens if I do it right now. I believe it's go to... Yeah, build settings. Project settings. And I want to set this to none. Continue. Let's see what happens, because I want to see if I can't take it all back to where it was initially. Ooh. Okay. Is that just the intensity? Yeah, it's like 10,000. So let's set that to like 50. Is more than one light source? No, that's coming from that. Weird. Real time, directional. It's so... Actually, I wonder if I just delete it. Let's just get rid of the directional light. Delete. Cool. Let's add in a new directional light. There we go. That looks a little bit more normal. Okay. Let's see what happens if I play it now. I wonder if the particle effects will work or if they'll be super slow. Okay. Okay, they're working to a point. There won't be any decals because the decals can't appear. Let me see if the decal projector on. Yeah. Decals can't appear because it's not HDRP. I forgot the decal projector was turned off. Yeah, that particle effect I will work on fixing, but if I go to the log here, it shows you down here, you know, I've hit wall chunk, wall chunk, wall chunk, wall chunk, and then I hit the scarecrow dummy. So if I shoot it again, the scarecrow dummy disappears. One of the things I'm going to be trying to set up soon, I think the next thing I'll work on when I have free time, I want to set up a spawner. So I have Rain Sleet Zombies that I can work off of to set up a better version of the spawner from that game. I want to set up a spawner. I need to set up nav mesh. I need to make the zombie training dummy move. I think that will be it for the next step of this game. I am almost alpha with my other game. I did some work. I talked to some friends. We did some workarounds, and there was a toss up between first person or third person. I'm going to implement a way to do both. It's not an action game. It's a comfort game. It's a cozy game, sort of. It might be actiony later on, but for right now, it's a cozy game. But I want you to be able to have first person and third person abilities in that game. So I'm going to add in a way to do that. And as well, I think after that, I have to put the day system in. I have to put the money system in. No, the trading system in. And then I have to do so much modeling. Because I have, like, there's 3 tiers to it right now. I have a good chunk of tier 1 done. But there's so much stuff missing from I can't really say it. There's so much stuff missing from 2 of the aspects of the game. One of them, I've got lots to work on. I can always add more stuff there. The other ones, there's not a lot there, and I really need to add more stuff or just take stuff away. Honestly, I don't know where this game's going to fall when it's done, but it's going to be fun to build and see what happens. Horde game, on the other hand, I know exactly where this one's going. This one's like, it's a horde game. You're building a horde game. Zombies are going to pop out of the ground. They're going to rush at you. You're going to shoot them. They're going to die. You're going to get points. And then you're going to build a wave system. And then it'll be, infinite waves. I have to build a system to basically scale the waves infinitely, which will be fun. I think that'll be a decent aspect of the game, instead of being like, yeah, it sets at this, and, wave 1 through 10, it increases by, 5. And then from 10 up, every 10 after that, it'll be like, okay, now it increases by 5 every 10 rounds. And then after like 20, it's like, okay, it increases by 10 after 10 more rounds. I want it to be like, every single wave, add X to zombie count. I think that's the best way to do it. Be like, hey, you're on wave 5, but you now have to deal with 30 zombies. I also need to add a way, like, I want to do the one thing Call of Duty Zombies did that I really, really liked, and I think Killing Floor does it too. After a certain amount, you can see how many zombies are left in the wave. I like that, because you have no idea how many are coming until, people math it out. But you have no idea how many are coming until you see that number appear. Or in Killing Floor, it's like, you have no idea how many are coming until the end when no more spawning, and then you get the zombie symbol pops up, and you can see where they are on the map. Okay, there's one over there, and there's one over there. I also do want to, and I thought about this. This is going to be interesting for the game itself. I thought about doing update maps for the story. So, map 1 will be part 1 of the story. Map 2 will be part 2 of the story. The maps will connect, but there won't be any like actual movement between them. It's not like you're going to walk from 1 to 2. Maybe later on I'll do one gigantic connected map where you can go across the entire thing. But I want to get at least one level out for this right away. Not right away, but by the end of October, I'd like to get at least one map out for Horde Game. Maybe the end of December. I don't know. I'm kind of up and down on it. But in order to get it done, I need the gun animations, I need the zombie animations, I need sound, I need to build the level, build the story, apply all the sounds, apply all the story details and all that kind of stuff, texture it all. Like, there's a lot to go into this, and I need to focus more on the initial game, although I think Horde Game would do better. I think the initial game, I think the one I'm working on is a great side project. I think this one would actively, 1, be more entertaining, and 2, probably sell better. So I might focus a little bit more on this. I have the entire day. It's the long weekend here in Canada and America, so I have the entire day. I have to finish painting some Warhammer, and then I'll probably do some more work on Horde Game and kind of get that brought up a bit. I won't worry too much about effects until later on. I might just put a texture up that flashes when you shoot instead of particles. But yeah, I want you guys to give you an update on how Horde Game is going and where I got in the last few days and where I plan on going now. So, on that note, where I plan on going in the next update, what we'll probably be doing today, spawning enemies, moving enemies, and then potentially I might add sounds to the guns. Gun, singular. But yeah, that's my plan. I want to make them spawn, I want to make them move, and I want to make them shoot. Or I want to be able to shoot them and actually have them die. So that's the plan. I will see you guys. Actually, no, I might do weekly updates. I might do a weekly update. I might see you guys next Monday for the next update on Horde Game. That's a good idea. Next Monday on Horde Game, I'll see you.